So today we're going to be diving into the deck that took me from rank 90 to infinite this season. Something I immediately noticed was that this deck was really good at catching people off guard despite being old school. If you like to play big cards and want to try something besides Electro and Hela, then this deck will be right up your alley. So before we begin showcasing this deck in ranked matches, let's quickly go over some of the key cards we use here and how they interact with the rest of the deck. Now we can't go any further until we highlight the main glue that holds this deck together, and that is none other than Lockjaw. Ever since his change from a 3-2 to a 4-5, he's pretty much dropped off the face of the earth. The card is still great, especially when the deck is centered around his strengths like this one is. Now we can play him on curve and still use his ability that same turn with Wasp, or bring him out a turn early with Psylocke or Zabu. It's important to play Lockjaw on an empty lane, as that will give us the most amount of uses for his ability. It's also important to avoid locations that add cards to our deck, as that will dilute the big targets we're trying to swap into. Next up is Jubilee. She naturally fits in this deck, since we have so many high cost cards to pull. Not only that, but she's also a great card to play into Lockjaw to potentially score 2 big cards in one turn. And lastly, her ability to absorb hits for our stronger cards can't be overlooked either. Some of these hits include Negasonic, Vormir, Death's Domain, and Luke's Bard to name a few. Another backbone of the deck is Dracula. Our hand will naturally get too many high cost cards to play in one game, and this is where Dracula shines. He's able to avoid Shang-Chi, but is also the prime target for Red Guardian, so he's definitely best played towards the end of the game and should only be prioritized after both Lockjaw and Jubilee have seen some play. Before wrapping up this segment, let's briefly touch on 3 big cards that warrant their inclusion here. The first is Jane Foster. She's extremely good at helping us overwhelm our opponents. Where she really shines is after playing Lockjaw into Wasp. By retrieving Wasp again from the deck, we're able to use Lockjaw's ability an additional time on top of playing another big card in that same turn. Another big card here is Vision. His ability to move in and out of lanes helps us get into lanes that are restrictive in nature. On top of that, he also helps us make room in our Lockjaw lane in cases where we've played Lockjaw early or played Jubilee. Both Vision and Jane Foster are also solid cards to play on curve or on turn 4 with the help of Psylocke. The last big card here is Hulk, and the reason is simple. I just don't have Red Hulk. So if you do, feel free to swap them for potentially better results. Another card that I experimented with was Scar. While having 1 less power than Hulk, he could be used as an ender alongside Psylocke or Zabu, but the situations where I needed that were not too frequent to include him over Hulk. Hopefully that helped you guys out. So without further ado, join me in piloting this re-envisioned blast from the past in the next following matches. I hope you're enjoying the video so far, and I'll see you next time. Starting us off is the Bifrost. Okay. We got Psylocke on deck, so we can bring her out this turn. Oh, nice. Okay. And we did draw into Lockjaw. So we're going to go ahead and play next turn on Bifrost, most likely. And then, yeah, turn 5, we have the Jubilee play as well. Or sorry, turn 4, Jubilee play as well. And all of those cards are going to go into Mojo World, which is cool, because we need as many cards there as we can. Let's see what we got. Okay, okay. Let's go, Giganto and Infinaut. Let's go. All right, not a bad start. Okay, now turn 5 and into Wasp. So what we're gonna do is Wasp first. That way it'll bring something out, hopefully Hulk or Magneto. And we're gonna set up shop here on the left location with Jane Foster. It was Jubilee. Okay, that can happen. We're just gonna bring back Wasp. I mean, if they don't have a Shang-Chi in the middle, they're done for there, so Let's see what else we got. They're snapping. Okay, so that means they're comfortable with winning that middle location. Yeah, this would be a position where we should retreat, seeing that snap in the middle location, but let's rock it out. See, we can do Dracula, Zabu, and yeah, Wasp here. That'll give us at least 13, right? Minimum. Okay, they didn't have Shang-Chi. So what they have? Oh, a Devil Dino. Okay. Yeah, that's not enough. No way. No way. All right. Yeah, so we pretty much drew or played our entire deck. Besides, I think Magneto was the only one that was still in the deck. But yeah, early on, Lockjaw, keep the pressure going. And Jane Foster to bring back Wasp. We didn't have enough space because of Jubilee, so that's where Vision also comes into play. When it's still in the deck, of course, since it's going to be able to move out, and then we're going to be able to keep putting Wasp there, getting more big cards out. So yeah, as you can see, just the amount of power that we had was, what, 68 altogether, which is pretty insane. So yeah, just the power of this deck. It's great. It's great. Jay, good game, man. Mojo World. Okay. We don't struggle too much against Mojo World, especially when we draw into Psylocke, Lockjaw, like these Jubilee. You know, we're able to really contend with that. So not too upset about that. Okay, so we're definitely going up against Destroy, setting up shop with Deadpool. So we do have to be wary of potential Shang-Chi. I know some don't run it, but you know, some do. So especially because it feeds into Null. Now they got Onslaught Citadel, so that's really good for their Null. Okay, Venom. So let's see what we come out with. And it's Jubilee with Magneto. Okay. Alright. Let's set up Dracula here on the right. So as you can see, some of these rolls are not as high. So Magneto's great. I mean, don't get me wrong, but having Jubilee, you know, get him, it would have been nice to just have Magneto or Jubilee into Vision. That would have been great. So what we're gonna do is just float and just Infinaut on the right. Okay. Oof. 32. We're definitely going to have big amount of power there too on the right. We're looking at 30 minimum. I know that Deadpool's 32 right now, but that's the thing, that 32 is not going to help much in Mojo World, you know. He needs to have like a lot of cards that are all low cost in order to make this work for them. Like Death is guaranteed, right? They can have Death. Might even have Shang-Chi too. Like a Shang-Chi, Death, Deadpool play maybe. Let's see. Oh, okay. Okay. So that's interesting. So they did the Arnim Zola play first instead of. Oh. Oh. Ah. Wow. Lucky. Very lucky. That X-23 decided to stick on rickety bridge. Like glue. Okay. All right. Let's see. I mean, there's not, you know, much we could have really that I would have really changed. You know, there's the Jubilee play that kind of locked us in there on the left location. We play Wasp in the middle just to make sure that we have something there to win with. And yeah, I mean, they got that depth roll out early for sure, so that gave them a leg up. Really, what saved them was the X-23, right? That 33% chance, but hey, it worked. It worked out in their favor, and hey, I don't blame them. GF, good game, man. Okay, so we did draw into Lockjaw. That's good, and Jubilee as well. So I'm hoping for Psylocke or Zabu next turn, of course. We got Wasp, so that's not the worst for sure. We can at the very least save it for Lockjaw on turn 4 now. Okay, so yeah, sometimes you get these games where we're not really starting to cook till turn 4, and that's okay. Because this can turn around really fast. We have Jane Foster in our hand as well, so we're gonna be able to use Wasp into Lockjaw turn 4, then turn 5 get Wasp again and prep it for turn 6 basically. Okay, so we're going to definitely start at the Bifrost. Oh, undo that. Ooh, we messed up. Yeah, so Asteroid M was the at the last second I tried to end. So that cost us the game for sure. Yeah, I don't think we can really come back from this. Opponent snapping, of course they are. Why wouldn't they snap? But we'll rock it out. We'll see what's up. But that was a huge mistake. Huge mistake. Okay, Infinaut and Hulk. Annihilus. Okay, we're still up by like a bajillion points on the right. And Magneto will bring Sentry to the right. Our best play is like Giganto left. That's Giganto left. They're gonna have a hard time dealing with that. We do have priority, which is not ideal, but because they can just Shang-Chi, right? Okay. Demon. Yep. Okay. Wasn't enough still. You see that? That's the biggest misplay on turn 4, and this deck was still able to turn it around with that big mistake and pumping out. How much do we have here? I mean, not accounting all the negatives, over 40 for sure. Damn. Either way, safe Highlander. Good game, man. Okay, I could potentially see... Yeah, I was about to say... Potentially see Psylocke into Dracula, but we got Jubilee there, so... we can do that instead. Now, I haven't... Oh, that sucks. Okay. Very rude. Very rude from Spider-Ham. I was gonna say, I could potentially see... Like, if Jane Foster is played on Krakoa. Oh no, never mind. No, that wouldn't work. Elysium is nice. You know what? We could have done a lot worse. So we're still showing signs of life. So I'm happy about that. Okay. Okay. Goose on the left. Patriot deck. Okay, awesome. All right. We got Lockjaw. Let's definitely set up shop here. And yeah, we'll play Zabu here in the middle. Let's see what we got. The Roulette. Hulk. Okay. Turn 5, we're just gonna do it again. Rather do it again on turn 6, but you get my point. Jane Foster on turn 5 to get Wasp again. There we go. And use it again turn 6. Yeah, this is, you know, if you guys are trying to hit Infinite, this, well, you would have snapped the turn before, but since I'm just showcasing the deck, I don't want to focus too much on snapping. There's the retreat. It might have retreated by turn 5 too, you know, never know. But what would have come out of this turn was playing Wasp on the left location, which if you see on the left, the only card left is the Infinaut. So that's a 20 right there. That's a 37 on the left. And out on the right, what do we do? On the right, yeah, we just play Dracula. And then that's it. I mean, hopefully Giganto is the one that's discarded by him. And that's another 20. That's 42. So 40 plus in 2 locations. So pretty insane. Pretty insane. Archade, good game, man. Oh, wow. We drew into both Psylocke and Zabu. And in this case, Zabu's definitely the better call to make. Psylocke, I like to use sometimes on turn 3, turn 4, where she's able to let us play some of our 5-cost cards or 6-cost cards. So we're gonna play down Zabu. I know we don't have a 4-cost card in our hand. We have plenty in the deck. Hopefully we draw into one. Okay. We did not, and that's okay. So what I'm thinking is playing Psylocke anyway on the middle location, and that way, if we're still not drawing any of our core cards, then at the very least we have vision that we can go ahead and start setting up. Okay, so we do have the play, the Lockjaw play. Okay. All right. 20% chance we hit Jubilee. Okay. We were graced. Let's go ahead and play Vision here. He's going to allow us to get into Death's Domain for free. Okay. All right. That just gives us another chance to play into Lockjaw. So I'm okay with that. Yep, I am okay with that. So we don't want to play Magneto here. That'll bring 2 and might help out Craven. How can they beat us on Death's Domain? I mean, they have Nightcrawler. And like, that's about it, right? We can't exactly play it on the left location. Dracula is gonna be like really difficult for him to go ahead and get that much power. So we're just gonna go ahead and do Magneto. Even if one moves, I mean, it is what it is. Two of them are gonna move. Okay. Oh no! Right, Lockjaw. Of course. He had the same idea. Okay. Assuming, you know, we put Dracula in, we're just gonna get, well, okay, Jane Foster, sure. So we could have played Jane Foster to get Wasp out, and that would have given us like a bigger target. It could have also drawn into Jubilee. So either way, yeah, it was tough. It was tough. Perhaps having Vision on the left, like just leaving him there, would have been better, and then just adding to that. But because Magneto wasn't gonna win this, right? Like, yeah, Magneto wasn't gonna win that just by those two alone with Kraven, alongside Kraven, because Stegron and Polaris would have stayed to the left. So I think that would have been better. So Vision for sure stayed on Eternity range, played Magneto, let's say, on the left, and have sort of these guys coasting on Muir Island, and that wouldn't have been enough. At least I don't think so. 26 versus, let's say, Kraven would be a 9 and 13. 22. Yeah, that would have been it. All right, so that was definitely a misplay on our end, and a little bit of bad luck too, right? Because if we would have swapped into Giganto, then that would have been game. Elite Morales, good game, man. Okay, starting off with Lockjaw and Psylocke turn 2. Okay, so I'm guessing, okay, you can do that. I was thinking of doing Psylocke on the left, but that's not gonna work. Although we can be a little greedy and start filling up the raft, since we don't have Vision either. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. No, Sokovia. Come on, Sokovia. Okay. Got rid of the boy, the good boy. Let's see. Like, I don't really want to do Wasp in the middle, because that's just giving up that location for a free 6 cost card. So we're not gonna do that. Wong, okay. That Sunspot's putting it work though. Let's put Jane here. And let's put Wasp here as well. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking they might play on the left, and what I wanted to do was maintain priority. Oh, okay. What I wanted to do was maintain priority so that we're able to surprise them on turn 6 with Magneto. On the right location, get rid of that Wong. They're thinking they're getting a bunch of points, and that will, yeah, be enough. Even with, you know, we got Sasquatch too. So that's 23 on deck with Wasp. So yeah, that was not looking too good. T'Chaka, good game, man.